This week in Jamaica Now, Jamaica under water ban. $4.5 billion contract signed to tackle water theft and leaks. Jamaican pilot in custody since 2008 in the Middle East could be released soon. And the police commissioner has a serious case of foot in mouth. The details of these and other stories coming up after the break.
News breaking in your area? Share your photos, your videos, your stories through the Gleaner's My Report.
Have a burning issue the authorities should know? Post it at the Gleaner's My Report.
It's easy. Just log on to jamaica-gleaner.com/myreport. Sign up and send today.
Your news.
Your views.
Your report.
Online.
The Gleaner's My Report.
See it.
Snap it.
Share it.
I'm Carleen Brown and this is Jamaica Now. The National Water Commission NWC says it will begin enforcing the nationwide ban on the washing of cars and other non-essential use of this scarce commodity. The prohibition was announced amid concerns about the worsening drought conditions across the island. The utility company says the police are on board and warned the public to adhere to the ban. The Commission's Corporate Public Relations Manager, Charles Buchanan, says the NWC will first seek to encourage voluntary compliance before prosecuting people for violating the prohibition order.
We will first seek to bring it to people's attention that what you are doing is wasteful, what you're doing is not correct, and there is a legal prohibition against it, and to invite them to correct the action. In instances where persons, though, refuse to take any steps to curtail their breach, we will apply the full force of the law. The objective is to get people to not waste the limited supplies that we have in these drought-affected areas.
Meanwhile, amid the adverse drought conditions across the island, the government has signed a $4.5 billion contract that will seek to reduce by more than half the amount of water produced by the NWC that is lost to leaks and theft. According to the agency, about 108 million litres, or 53% of the water it produces daily, is lost to theft and leaks. Speaking at the contract signing at Jamaica House, Prime Minister Portia Simpson Miller said the situation cannot continue. In the meantime, President of the Medical Association of Jamaica, Dr. Shane Alexis, has urged persons to stay hydrated. The MAJ president says persons must safeguard themselves against dehydration, and Dr. Alexis says safety and prevention are crucial during these times, especially for children, the elderly, and those suffering from chronic illnesses.
For the elderly, in the case of persons who are alone, I would encourage community members to keep an eye on them where possible, assist with ventilation, opening up their home in terms of windows, etc. Fans where possible would be very helpful. And of course, if someone is particularly weak and not responding to usual refreshment or ventilation, they should be taken to the health center or an emergency room, as the case may be, for evaluation and possibly rehydration fluids.
It was a case of foot in mouth for Police Commissioner Dr. Carl Williams, who had to clear up remarks about doing a 10 out of 10 job of managing Jamaica's crime problem after being in the post for more than 7 months. Critics slammed the police commissioner for giving himself the high marks, given the fact that more than 600 people have been killed in the first 6 months of the year. Dr. Williams subsequently said he was joking when he gave himself the perfect score. He further said it was not his place to rate his performance as a commissioner.
How do you rate a commissioner? A commissioner, first of all, cannot be asked, or anyone should not be asked to rate themselves. But I see where it was the highlight of the entire conference. Rating of the commissioner, that's the biggest thing that came out of the press conference. The press conference was not about that. I didn't go there with a scorecard. The focus should be on the solutions that we're seeking together.
The Jamaican pilot in custody in Qatar since 2008 could soon be released and returned to his homeland. Initially, there were reports that the man had been released after years of lobbying, but this was later disputed by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. The ministry said the man remains in custody, but it anticipates that he will soon be released. The Jamaican pilot was arrested in Qatar in November 2008 and charged for a serious offense for which he was found guilty in November 2012 and began began serving his 5-year sentence in January 2013. The embassy of the Dominican Republic in Kingston last week sought to defend that country's decision to deport persons of Haitian descent from its shores. The Dominican Republic's ambassador to Jamaica, Jose Thomas Ares, said the human rights of Haitians were observed under what it termed its national plan for migratory regulation. He stressed that during the 18-month period of the enforcement plan, no Haitian was kicked out of the country. This, he said, was intended to facilitate a smooth regularization process. And that's it for this edition of Jamaica Now, your weekly review of the big news stories. Send us your comments at onlinefeedback@gleanerjm.com. You may tune in to Power 106 FM for regular updates. Follow us on Twitter at Jamaica Gleaner and on Facebook at Gleaner Jamaica. I'm Carleen Brown, but before we go, scenes from a massive fire which left 15 homeless earlier this week.